So this is a GE dryer. The complaint was not heating. Yeah. So the customer actually tried fixing the dryer, and that's their connection. And in fact, they forgot to plug those two back on. So I was called, and I actually replaced the customer's connection. I wasn't happy with how that was done. Also, the connection was not rated for the kind of voltage. It was automotive grade connector, so I wasn't happy with that. So on these GE dryers, I've been seeing a lot of those connections. The purple wire, it just snaps and it burns. So either from overheating, clogged vent, or just running the dryer on, the same cycle right back to back, that can also cause the extra heat to build up. Or sometimes the wires or the spade, which is the connector that goes on, sometimes they either loosen up from vibration and eventually they just short out. So be mindful of that. So if your dryer's not heating, there's a good chance that that is the problem. So what we're doing, we cut off the bad section, and I do have extra wires and stuff, so I usually have those so I can make the repair. The repair is basically my solder iron was being... Later I realized it wasn't turned all the way up. Usually it's pretty quick and gets the job done super quick, super fast. So it was turned down. I just didn't realize. So everything will be heat shrink as well. And of course, once heat shrink is installed, you just... my lighter was not functioning, so I had to use my solder iron to shrink. It works just fine though. And the lighter or match would have been so much easier to get the heat shrink on, but it worked just fine. I did double up the heat shrink. If you notice, it's one at the bottom, then another on top. So you want to make sure that wire is fully shielded, covered, whatever. Now, some of these GE dryers I've been seeing, a lot of times it's either, like I was saying, a restricted vent. That's kind of what I've been noticing. So, and usually the same spot. In fact, I did a dryer maybe last week. No, maybe I think it was last month actually. And same exact spot. That purple wire was totally burnt off. And what was weird on that one, the spade, that's the piece that actually attaches onto the wire and then onto the element spade. The spade was still on the element. So I thought that was really weird. So we're cleaning the spade um, on the element, and a lot of times when you have a connection like that, it's going to be a little corroded. Could have been from the heating up off the part that was moving, which is the spade. When they're not fully seated properly, they end up with hot spot, and eventually they'll burn and melt that wire. So that could have been the machine's initial fault. I did not have sandpaper, but that worked out pretty good anyways. Now make sure it's a nice tight fit. It has to be snug. If not, it's going to vibrate, it's going to heat up. So our wire was a little bit long, so we are going to use a zip tie and just make a small loop, and that's going to wrap that section up. So we're pretty much putting it back together. I did not show that part, but the next is going to be when it's up and running. So just keep that in mind as well. Also, your breaker is something you should check, because if that wire did get burnt and it would be on the floor, it would trip the breaker. So always check the breaker first. But if the breaker trips, you want to find out why it did. Usually it's a problem. So we're buttoned up, and check your wires, make sure everything's nice and tight. And here we are. Dryer's put back together. Heat is on. Alright guys, thanks for watching.